Hey everybody, welcome to Wake Up Right. Trump might just be doing the impossible, breaking records, something historical here. But before we get into that, I would just request that you go down into the comments, comment below, give me any of your opinions on the upcoming election. Let me know what you think. It really helps with the algorithm and helps me to grow, helps me to get out there, and more people see these videos. Now, getting right back into it, we're seeing Trump's youth vote surge. His overall support from youth voters seems to be going up. Not that he's necessarily going to win it. I don't know for sure if he'll win the entire youth vote. And there's maybe a little bit of a counter argument and bit to say about this. But either way, this political article I found the other day shows the polls are suggesting a huge shift in the electorate. Obviously, Politico, a little more left wing. They're trying to brush it off, soften the blow for Biden, make it seem like things aren't going as bad for him. But let's be honest, things are going awful for Biden. They're going awful for the entire administration. They go after Trump so hard, they attack him incessantly. They will not give up on him. They persecute him, they use lawfare against him, and even then, they cannot get him. This Biden bump that we were supposed to get was so pathetic. And at the end of the day, Trump's bouncing back in pretty much every poll we're seeing. He's taking bigger leads in swing states. Realistically, this election is not further out of reach for Trump because of the verdict. It's further out of reach for Biden. But again, that aside, Trump's youth vote is surging. So, what's going on? We have some polls here. If you read into this article, some polls show Trump actually pulling even or slightly ahead of Biden amongst younger voters. But is that a shift or an outlier? The evidence is mixed, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about how younger people are harder to poll. Traditional phone polling, it's difficult to capture young voters. Again, they're trying to soften the blow with this. But either way, as they say here, a drop in youth support for Biden keeps showing up in polls using different ways of reaching respondents, a sign that it may not just be a methodological error. It doesn't matter if it's even off a little bit. Trump is doing better with younger voters in these polls. Even if he may not get as much as we're expecting, it might be overestimating him a little bit. He's still doing far better than we have seen him do before in the past with these younger voters. There were multiple different ones that showed him even. There are a few that show him a bit ahead. And then there's some that show a little bit less. The electoral analysis website Split Ticket recently conducted a survey of young voters using text message interviews, a mode more familiar with people in that age group, found Biden at 35%, ahead of Trump with 25%. So that's only a 10-point margin. Bear in mind, it was 20 points in the last election. And then independent RFK Jr. there at 23. So again, yeah, as they say, well short of the 20 plus point margin that Biden had in 2020. That is disastrous for Biden. So not only is Biden losing Hispanics, black voters are shifting to the right a bit. Again, he's still winning them, but either way, they're shifting to the right. All of these demographics seem to be shifting to the right. Young voters now are as well. And I think there's a few reasons for that. I think we can look into it a little bit deeper. There's a few other things we're going to get into here. Trump has been doing a better job at reaching out to these voters to appeal to them. He's been going on these podcasts and different medias. Again, as the political article is talking about, younger people aren't necessarily doing these phone interviews as much. They're in a different space. They don't use the legacy media as much. They pay more attention to things like podcasts. And Trump's campaign, being intelligent, is going on these kinds of podcasts. I've mentioned this before. He went on the Dr. Phil, he went on Tim Pool, and now he went on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul. And where down we I'm scared. A very, very successful, very popular young creator with younger voters, younger people in general. Trump going on there is great optics, helps him feel and seem like a real person, connecting with his audience, connecting with supporters, connecting with people these younger voters care about. That's going to give them a better impression than the constant garbage they've been fed by the media for so long. Now, obviously, that's really not the only thing that's helping Trump. It's not just going on these podcasts. It's the fact that, first of all, people are completely aware of how messed up Biden is, how declining he is. He's so clearly on the decline. He's out of his mind. He's constantly wandering around on stage. He even had Joe Biden go up and make sure he got off the stage properly. He got out of he had to be guided by Obama. It's pathetic. The guy is so lost out there, and at this point, it's really abusive what they're doing to him. And the fact that they go out there and try and pin the idea that Trump is the one who's cognitively declining is just peak comedy, really. It's peak parody. I don't know how that's the reality we live in, but it is. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, that aside, people are sick of Biden. They're sick of his economy. They're sick of their antics. They're sick of the lies and the corruption. It is something people don't care about anymore. And then another thing you have to consider that ultimately affects all voters, but will also affect young voters because young voters, in some ways, are disproportionately affected by this more than older voters, is the economy and inflation are the two most important issues to Americans right now. And following closely behind that, crime and safety. This is from an Ipsos poll. I should mention Ipsos is maybe a little more left wing. It's an ABC News Ipsos poll, so it's not going to be perfect. I've seen polls that show it do a lot better for Trump. I've shown a few that are a little closer. This one's a little closer. Either way, Trump is still massively outrunning Biden on these most important issues. You can see right here on the economy, Trump is polling 16 ahead, and second most important issue, inflation, Trump leads by 14 points. And then immigration, another very big issue for people. Trump is leading by a whopping 17%. The only couple issues where Biden leads are healthcare, protecting American democracy, and access to abortion. Healthcare is not really an important thing to people right now, let's be honest. Access to abortion really isn't. So it's not something they can run on. And the only other thing they have, which is what they've been trying to run on, is protecting American democracy. But what I don't think has become clear yet to the Democrats and to the Biden campaign is that people don't give a crap about, oh, my J6 in American democracy. They don't care about your bullcrap arguments. People don't care about that kind of thing, especially when they're questioning whether or not they're going to be able to afford to put food on their table every single day. When people are struggling like that, you know what they care about? That. They don't care about your stupid democracy garbage. They care about that. They care about the economy, they care about inflation, and they care about immigration, which is desperately destroying our economy at the same time, and then as well making our elections potentially less secure. And oh, wait, making our nation less safe as well. You know what else is an important issue? Crime and safety. You know who leads that? Trump by 8 points. So again, these things are important. Now, how does this tie into younger voters? Again, like I said, younger voters are disproportionately affected by these economic changes right now. They're not as financially stable, they don't have as many assets built up, and inflation is crushing them. So it's very, very safe to say that one of the reasons for this polling trend could very well be just because the economy is so bad and people trust Trump more on the economy than Biden. It's pretty clear to me. But just to make it clear that these people are so beyond reality, so out of touch that they truly don't understand what's wrong, why people are upset, why they're complaining, or really why Biden would be losing. How could the American people vote for a fascist like Trump? When you have Kamala Harris right here saying this stuff like this, Donald Trump thinks he is above the law, and this should be disqualifying for anyone who wants to be president of the United States. How clear do we have to make it that people don't care about your stupid trial, which was very clearly, again, lawfare? It wasn't a real trial. It was a sham in a 95% Democrat district. Don't give me the, oh, jury of his peers bullcrap. These people are out of touch. They don't know what's going on. We do not care about your crappy worldview. We, the people, are sick of it. There's a reason why Trump is consistently pulled ahead for so long and why it will continue no matter what, and why he's going to win this election in such a landslide. Trump's MAGA movement is the future of the GOP. It's the future of America. If we want to save this country, we need to embrace it. Because clearly it's the only right wing movement right now in the GOP that seems to be able to bring at least some new young voters in, and you need to be able to get those people to vote for you if you want to win future elections. You can't just bet on old people forever. Those generations will eventually die off. I know that sounds a little morbid, but people die. Again, we need to stand behind Trump. We need to all unite, come behind Trump fully. The GOP needs to support him, and we need to work towards an America First future if we want to save this country. Anyways, that's all for now, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this issue, what you think about younger voters shifting to Trump. Do you think this trend will continue? Do you think he might be able to pick up more? Let me know in the comments down below and subscribe.